holding out for its own brand of democratic change. But many fear the politically volatile Yemen may descend into anarchy. Hashim Harbar, AlJazeera, Sana'a.
The African Union has endorsed Alassane Ouattara as the rightful leader of Côte d'Ivoire. After a meeting in Ethiopia attended by Ouattara, the AU's Peace and Security Council said Laurent Gbagbo must leave office in the interest of the Ivorian people. Gbagbo's representative at the meeting said the resolution was untenable. Gbagbo has also declared a no-fly zone, which may be used to stop Ouattara from returning from Ethiopia. Well, Côte d'Ivoire's economy is suffering heavily from the deadlock, in particular the lucrative coca industry. The export of almost 500,000 tons of coca beans have been held up. Now the country's producers have been ordered back to work. Mohamed Ado reports from the country's east.
The Côte d'Ivoire's economy largely depends on its cocoa crop. But the farmers who will soon be gathering that precious harvest say they're now victims of the political battle engulfing their country. As the presidential face-off between Laurent Gbagbo and Alassane Ouattara goes on, each is issuing different orders to the farmers, and they're getting fed up.
Life is becoming more and more miserable for us farmers. Both Gbagbo and Ouattara should leave and let someone with a conscience take over the country's leadership.
Cocoa has been his family's main income for more than 30 years.
All the former leaders of the cocoa sector are in jail, and Gbagbo has appointed his own. And now he has nationalized the sector. This is because he knows it's profitable and can get him money.
The ongoing political crisis in Ivory Coast threatens the country's status as being the world's top producer of cocoa. And now farmers are complaining that it's no longer profitable to grow cocoa, as illegal cartels take advantage of the situation to take their crop at throwaway prices. Alou Bile is a trader in the small town of Ara in the eastern part of Côte d'Ivoire. He says he hasn't sold any cocoa for the last 2 months.
Every morning, farmers come to me for payment. I have no money to pay them. If the situation remains the same, it will be unbearable for us.
European Union sanctions imposed in protest over Gbagbo's refusal to stand down are already strangling the nation's cocoa sector. More than 475,000 tons are stuck in storage. If cocoa production continues to suffer, then not only will farmers face financial ruin, it will soon become a major concern too for chocolate lovers everywhere. Mohamed Ado, AlJazeera, Ara in eastern Côte d'Ivoire.
This is the Al Jazeera News Hour. Still ahead.
I'm Nazanin Mashiri in Gafsa in southern Tunisia. I'll be reporting on the economic roots of this uprising.
And almost a year since Thailand's army crushed a rebellion there, we meet a father still searching for answers.
A history of guerrilla warfare, a place on the global stage. The PLO gaining strength, their revolutionary zeal knowing no bounds. But did a series of violent acts by their splinter groups damage the Palestinian cause, or ensure its survival? Chronicling the turbulent story of the struggle for a Palestinian homeland. PLO, History of a Revolution, at this time on Al Jazeera.
Hello again, you're watching Al Jazeera. A reminder of our top stories. Forces loyal to Libyan leader Muammar Gaddafi have launched new strikes on the eastern oil towns of Ras Lanuf and Brega. After coming under heavy fire from the land, air and sea, anti-Gaddafi fighters have retreated from Ras Lanuf. Arab Gulf states have now joined many Western countries in their condemnation of the Libyan regime. Ministers from the region say Gaddafi's government has lost legitimacy. And Saudi police have opened fire during a protest in the eastern city of Qatif. At least 2 protesters and a policeman were injured. It comes ahead of calls for more anti-regime rallies on Friday. A 2008 rebellion in Tunisia's Gafsa region was brutally crushed by the regime of then-President Zine El Abidine Ben Ali. But even after this year's Jasmine Revolution, which ended Ben Ali's rule, many people living there feel little in their lives has changed. Nazneen Mashiri reports from Gafsa.
This is a place where rebellion still hangs in the air. The words above these graves, the unemployed and the forgotten. This is at the heart of their protest. They want jobs and for the government in Tunis to stop ignoring their plight.
I feel excluded and oppressed, like I'm missing hundreds of things from my life. We see our wealth leaving this area, millions of dollars, and we are getting nothing.
The wealth is in the ground, in the phosphate mines which dominate the landscape. The government-run company makes millions of dollars a day selling this mineral abroad. Yet this is one of the poorest regions in Tunisia. In 2008, 3 years before the Jasmine Revolution, people here revolted. But their uprising was brutally suppressed. All of these men, more than 50 of them, were beaten and imprisoned.
The protests back then were censored. There was no media, no Facebook here. People were too scared to tell our story because the regime was too strong.
In the same village, we meet graduates in their late 20s who've never worked a day in their lives. They have a choice: either stay here, unable to get married or earn money, or try to migrate to Europe.
The government don't look for us to help us, to give a job, to give food, to give money. It's so difficult.
Fem was imprisoned and separated from his wife for more than 3 years, simply for reporting what happened here in 2008. He says Tunisia's revolution is far from over.
Hundreds of thousands of people are still revolting. The revolution is still ongoing. We are in the middle of the road. This is about the dignity of human beings.
This is a region on the economic and social edge of Tunisia. People here feel disconnected with events in Tunis and the country's transition to democracy. Ben Ali and his political police may be gone, but there's still a deep sense of injustice here. Ben Ali's departure is just the beginning for this new nation. The transitional government must take notice of what's happening in Gafsa. The root causes of this revolution are not resolved.